Is Thailand the right place for passport bros anymore? That is a weird question to ask because whenever you think of passport bros, you think Thailand, generally Southeast Asia, Philippines specifically, and South America. But Thailand is usually on top of the list. So how can we even be asking this question? Well, I'll tell you how. As a matter of fact, you guys are going to get both of two of the both from the both worlds of dating in Thailand as a passport bro. First of all, that's me. I'm an actual real passport bro who moved to Thailand more than 2 years ago. I'm not here to make TikTok videos with a tattooed, slutty looking girl that I've hired, to brag about. I'm actually here for traditional relationships, and I would never put my girlfriend on camera and on blast. And I came here very much improved, and I'm still improving. I'm learning Thai. I'm very much in love with this country in many ways. I'm not just here for women. I love Thai people. I've committed to living here pretty much for the rest of my life, and that's how we do it now. But you also today I'm going to react to this video of this nice Thai lady who made a video about how dating in Thailand for foreigners is a scam. Really, I think that's the name of her video. What is it? Dating in Thailand is a trap. Why no one is dating here? You know, very interesting title, right? So also I have to say, even though she speaks English, obviously, normally I stay away from Thai women who speak English. To me, they're already Americanized. They've already been infected by the virus. But even though she speaks English and I can see that she has at least one tattoo, which is also a deal breaker for me and most men, she has she you can still hear that the way she speaks is very much in a traditional way, not like a lot of these westernized little hoes here who like they already speak in really good English and with slang and stuff like that. She speaks very respectfully. You can see her English is not great, which is a good thing. And I think she brings up a lot of good points. You know what I mean? I disagree with her on some, and I didn't watch the full video because I do like to do like my actual reaction, live reaction. So I only watched enough to know that this is a good video to react to. And I think she's a good representative of the other side, right? Usually, like I said, most of these Thai women that you see on your social media talking about dating here, they're so westernized, they don't know what the fuck is going on really and what kind of Thai women men like me actually want. Definitely not them. So she also is dressed very appropriately. A lot of these girls that you see dressed, what you guys in America think like, oh, she's dressed cute. No, this is Thailand. Dressing cute here is actually dressing like hookers, and inappropriately so. So standards are very different how you dress in public, especially on for social media. This girl is dressed very proper. I think so. She is, I think, a great representative. By the way, I've been here for over 2 years now, and I moved here at first specifically to get the fuck away from American women. I saw absolutely no reason to try there anymore. I don't believe there are wives in America anymore. And if you do find a girl who's, wife material, she will succumb to the culture sooner or later, and you will lose her just to social media, to friends and coworkers that will essentially ruin her. So there's no reason for that. Now, here in Thailand, things are very, very complicated. It is not what you guys think. Oh, you just show up here and a hot girl's gonna come over and try to marry you. No, 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 no. There are so many nuances. You definitely have to work for it. Learning Thai is one of the most difficult things I've ever done. I'm still not very good at it. And I'm learning it because I believe that a real wife material, submissive and traditional girl does not speak English here. It's usually you know so and I am streaming from Bangkok, Thailand right now. I do this every day, so feel free to join me for the live chat. I do try to answer all questions, and specifically the super chats for sure. So let's get going with this video.
If you want to come to Thailand and find the right one, this video is for you because this video is going to be interesting and surprised that Thailand is not the place for dating anymore. Thai people do not date, do not marry, do not have kids, and now we are in a tough situation. And also Bangkok also have the name of the least romantic city ever.
Okay, so that's a pretty gloomy that's a pretty gloomy picture that she's painting. Now, I don't know about the least romantic city. I don't know. I was trying to look it up. I can't find it. I've lived here for 2 years. Honestly, Bangkok is so huge and have so many things going on that you literally can make it anything you want to be. You know, we have anything here, like literally anything you want. So I don't agree with that. It looks like she's pulling it from somewhere else, but I don't think it's the least romantic city. I also think being romantic and being in a romantic relationship has really not so much to do with the surroundings, but the couple itself, right? Now she also says that people don't date here anymore. Um, Now, Bangkok is a little different. There are a lot of, especially women, single women who come to Bangkok to earn money. And not just in the way how you guys think. A lot of them work really hard on night markets and other very difficult jobs. They have nothing to do with the sex industry, but they do come here to work. And so we have tons and tons and tons of single women. So the balance is definitely, shifted. But I do have to say that, and we'll get into it in a bit, is that um, definitely women here do not put much of a visual effort into attracting men. Most of them dressed in mom jeans and Crocs. They don't usually use makeup. They don't wear heels almost ever. Not that these sidewalks here help that at all. I can twist my ankle even walking around in my dress shoes that don't have heels. Um, and then I don't see men, especially Thai men, really trying that hard. But I know it is not this is not the culture where you can just come up to women all the time and try to pick them up. Westerners do it a little bit more than Thai men, but usually the way you meet a good girl here is through friends and family, and that's how men date. Now in Bangkok, I am more. Let me move my camera here. I agree with her a little bit more because in Bangkok, like I said, there's just a lot of single women working. But if you go into provinces, and that's where I prefer to go, actually, um, there are plenty of couples. You will find way less, women who are single. You will find so many more couples. So I think her statement is relatively correct, but only for actually right here, Bangkok. But at the same time, way more women than men. All right, let's keep going.
Why is that? Then stick around till then. I'm gonna tell you all. But is that mean it's impossible? 0%? No, not at all. What's till then? I have the tips to tell you. And yes, สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to Thai Talk.
All right, at least she did this. Okay, now she should have done it in the beginning of the video. This is a very custom greeting here. It also means hello, goodbye, I'm sorry, and thank you. So as you can see, most of the time, Thai women that you see on social media that speak English very well do not do that because, and this is why I'm saying, they're not very Thai. If a woman doesn't why at you like this, I don't even consider her Thai. I don't care. I don't care if she's born here. I don't care if she speaks Thai. If a girl does not why at you, especially a younger, well, to me, an older man, and there are plenty of them, to me, she's just an American girl and I ignore her. But just so you know, that is a traditional, respectful greeting.
Please do me one favor by hit the like and subscribe to my channel and let's explore this together.
By the way, so she has a very typical Thai accent, I have to say. As you can see, sometimes she puts S at the end of random words, like she says, alls, right? My best friend here is actually female. I usually do not encourage men to be friends with women, but this girl is kind of a boss chick, almost kind of like a very masculine personality. So I am friends with those. She's very tiny. So I am friends with a woman here, and she has also a very similar accent to this. As you can see, the way she speaks is very politely. She picks the words carefully. And you do another thing you have to understand that Thai language, and I can vouch for this now that I'm learning it, is extremely difficult and different than English. The way the sentences are structured, like there's very interesting nuances. For example, there's no such thing as a word yes here. I can explain later, but like it's just that different. Okay. So the way she's translating in her mind, obviously from Thai to English, gives you a little bit of idea that she's a little bit more of a traditional Thai girl rather than those little hoes that you see most of the time on the internet.
Foreigners might think Thai people are kind. We are the city too full of the smile people, happily people. And is it a perfect place to find someone to dating with or even decide to marry with?
Now I got to tell you, as far as being the land of smiles, people, and this is one of the few annoying things here in Thailand, that a lot of people are still wearing masks. No good fucking reason whatsoever, and they still do. So a lot of people, you don't see their smiles, as a matter of fact, especially on subways where they wear it even more. Like I don't wear masks unless it's a really bad pollution and it's like for my health. But on a subway, please cough at me, my immune system will be even stronger. So go getting into subway and still putting a mask on, it's just fucking ridiculous. But I a lot of women don't smile anymore because they essentially have their earbuds in and they're in their phones. I do have to say that got much worse in 2 years that I've been here, because when I came here, I was like, I thought, oh, okay, some women who are actually like available as human beings for any type of sounds, but now it's gotten worse. And this is a Western civilization effect.
But maybe you have to rethink about that again. For now, Thai people do not date each other anymore. If you walk into the street, you will find a lot of single person, especially in Bangkok. It's have
Yeah, so she's essentially saying what I said, right? In Bangkok, there's way more single people. There are way more single women, and the attitude is very different, unfortunately. I don't know why exactly, but it is.
over a million single person who walking around in city. Why is that? The first reason is because the cost of living in Thailand is pretty high. When you go out for a date, right, it's not just only you. If you're a man, somehow you have to offer for your dating partner as well. You have to pay for the woman for do some activities in Thailand, and
That's funny that this girl is not Thai in this video. Okay.
not cheap at all. And even someone decide to live together, some women might demand you to pay for her monthly, to pay for the rent, to pay for everything. So it's tough already to survive alone. Now you have to bring another person to live together. That's even add more difficult situation.
So I think she's talking more about Thai guys because Thai people here don't earn as much money. We also have very, very, very rich Thai people here, way richer than foreigners. But the majority of Thai men are, taking a girl out for a nice dinner is an expense. Now, for foreigners, it works the other way around. A lot of foreigners go like, oh yeah, I can totally take her for a $50 dinner. That's still much cheaper than America. But for a girl here is so much more money. And a lot of these dumb foreigners and who come here as simps don't understand that it's not about how much it is to you. Some of us come here as millionaires, right? It's about how much it is to her. So if you spend too much money on a girl, especially in the beginning, you essentially buying her, and you also letting her know that you have nothing else to offer but money. That's how much of a loser you are, that the only way you can win this girl over, get some of her time, is by paying her for her company. So that's what a lot of foreigners just don't understand here. Even there are a few of them who actually wanted me to mentor them through their kind of a journey, and that's what I do. I kind of consult single guys who come here to Southeast Asia, and even with my best efforts, they would just continue throwing money at these girls and get into the relationships that essentially at the end of the day, there's no reason to come here if that's the relationship you're going to end up with. But so be very careful with money. I recommend that you do not spend more than 100 baht here on a first date, because it should be a coffee or a drink, and that is enough for like a glass of wine or a Starbucks coffee, even maybe not Starbucks, but don't take a girl to Starbucks here on the first date. 100, maybe 200 baht. So we're talking about $3 to $6. But even in America, it shouldn't be more than $10. You absolutely do not want to lead with money. You also absolutely want to filter out the gold diggers, which majority of, I would say, American women are at this point, and there's still plenty here in Thailand as well.
So that's why a lot of Thai people give up on dating, and work takes too much time. For now, if you work in the office for 9 to 5 job, it's not only done yet. You have to stick around in the street. Let's say if you work in Bangkok, right? For on the way there, you might take 3 hours, and on the way back home, another 4 hours. That means you spend a lot of time outside already. You have only a few hours for getting shower, get some rest, and go to sleep and wake up early again. That's take too much time. And not only that, some people have extra job, which is the work on weekend as well. So no time for dating, no time.
Okay, so she is right. So it is a problem here. A lot of, like I said, a lot of women come here, to work. She's right. They work long hours, and commute here is a bitch. I do know somebody who commutes 2 to 3 hours one way, to make very little money. So it's a problem. Now, and a lot of women do work 6 7 days out of the week, and they do have sometimes second jobs. So a lot of time, like normally in America, right, I would say, listen, if you meet a girl, and you ask her out, it doesn't matter on a dating app or out and about, and you invite her for a date and she's not available within 48 hours, move the fuck on. Okay, don't date busy women, or don't date women who don't see enough value in you to make time for you, right? Here, I had to adjust that. I did adjust it to about 72 hours, which is a little bit, I mean, it's 50% increase, but I do allow for some women who really just can't make it. Here's the problem, because a lot of foreigners, again, they come here as simps, and all they know is to how throw money at women rather than actually give value as people. What they do is they pay a girl. They said, oh, how much money you make? Oh, 600 baht, no big deal. It's $20 for me. Here's $20, whatever's, come and have spend a day with me. But what they don't realize, they just made a hoe out of a regular normal girl. Now, of course, it is also those Thai women who take money, but essentially they take money for their company, right? And so now you just hired a hooker. So don't do that. I mean, don't fucking do that. If a girl's too busy, then just don't date her. Today I actually, so I talked to a girl, and she said, yeah, I'm only available on weekends. I said, well, I don't mind a casual relationship. So, no, I want a serious relationship. I said, you can't do a serious relationship. You're telling me you're busy during the week. Fine. I don't always believe this women when they say they're busy. They just don't know how to manage their time, or they don't see value in you. So they'll prioritize everything else until they become unavailable except for you. And I just told her, I said, I'm sorry. Yeah, not going to happen. If you're only available on the weekend, but you want to have a full relationship, that's fucking retarded in the first place. But I just don't date busy women. You just don't date busy. Like, that's a good rule, guys, to have. Don't date busy women. I sympathize with a lot of them. They have to work for their, families or whatever. But, they're just not available. Pick someone else. I mean, like, that's the thing is, if you just met a girl, you shouldn't have any emotional attachment to her. If one of the things that are negative about her is that she is too busy, move on to the next one. Especially here in Bangkok, she is right. We're plenty. I would say there's at least 1 million single women here. Like the other day, I decided to just look around and see, well, what's the ratio between men and women? I think it was yesterday. And I just decided to look at the escalator coming out from the subway. You guys are not going to believe me. Every single woman on that escalator, every single person, I already gave it away. Every single person on that escalator was a woman. I have a bus stop near my place where I live. And a lot of times I look, what kind of people are waiting there? 95% women. So we have tons of single women here. Move the fuck on,
To find anybody else. That's why. And with the changing lifestyle as well, now Thai society shift to older generation. So people want to have freedom. They want to make more money for live comfortable lives, to do whatever they want. And also the society do not pressure as before. In the past, if you're like 20, people around you.
Well, hold on. I see where she's going with it, but let me address the previous thing that she said. So, essentially she's saying an American and feminist lifestyle is sipping in. A lot of women choose careers over having relationships. I can see that. That's what it is. And that's why I say don't date career women. They pick careers over men, and that's their choice. That's fine. I don't think it's a good decision if a woman wants to have, prosperity. The best way is not to get a career. The best way is to get a good man. And more of these dumb girls don't realize that. They think, oh, let's be like independent, like, American girls. They see all of these videos. But what they don't see are the videos that I react to a lot, right? I think yesterday I did one where these are the same women in their 30s and 40s complaining how they cannot find a man. Well, because we don't want career women. And by the time you're ready to prioritize men, we want women 10, 20 years younger than you. You're just aged out. So that's unfortunately is also coming here as well. By the way, this is not just Thailand, right? This is pretty much many other countries. I mean, I visited Philippines and every single country in Southeast Asia except for Singapore. That's next in September. But I just visited Africa, right? Kenya, same fucking attitude.
Your relative, your family might put pressure on you, like you have to go out, find somebody, have kids, marry, blah blah blah. But for now, people over 30 still single and no one put pressure on them. They want a freedom life, and let's see, my friend, my colleagues, everyone over 30 years old and they are all single. Yes, I'm not lying. Like in my
Yeah. She's not lying. There's tons of women here in their 30s, which again, in a culture like this, is old, who are still single for many different reasons. But this is one of the things that probably my biggest culture shock in dating here in Thailand. I did not realize how little pressure these families put on women to get married. It is such a traditional culture, really conservative traditional culture, except there's one thing where women are not really pressured and told that, hey, listen, you better get married in your 20s because otherwise you're going to be lonely and single for the rest of your life. Now, again, there's a big difference in provinces. I do also see a lot of couples, a lot of young men and women already paired up, and so I believe the pressure there is greater. And as a matter of fact, I know some families who live in Thai families who live um, in provinces, and they do put pressure on their daughters and sisters, but not as much. But here in Bangkok, I knew one girl who was in her 40s, and her mother was like, oh, I hope you stay single for the rest of your life. I hope you don't, she's like encouraged to stay single. She still is, from what I remember, and she's almost 50. Man, it is a tough fucking life here in Thailand. Now, American women, when they do that and they end up lonely and single in their 30s and 40s, yes, it is going to be a mental health crisis for them. However, they can afford it in terms of money wise. They can afford to adopt cats. They can afford to pay for antidepressants. They can afford get themselves into their knitting classes or whatever, book clubs or whatever it is lonely women do in their 40s. They can afford it. Women here, not so much. There is not much of a government safety net, even though most people do get free healthcare, but it's not the best, obviously. It's government healthcare. So they do need a man. And, I was just in Kenya, and nobody had shittier attitude that I've seen in the recent years than Kenyan women. And they are dirt poor. A lot of them could not even get to a date with me on the bus because they don't even have money for the bus fare. So, and yet not all, majority of them have kind of played like, I don't need no man. And it's like, no, bitch, you absolutely do need a man because otherwise you can't eat. Now, things are not as bad here because Thailand is, especially Bangkok here, we're not a third world country here like Kenya. But women do need a man to be able to support them later in their lives. We're talking about basic shit, man. We're talking about basic shit like healthcare, many other things. So here, women are making even bigger mistake when they're not getting pressured by their family, or they don't succumb to that pressure, and they end up being single in their 30s. And I'm telling you, it is a problem. It is a problem because I've gotten to know enough women here who are really in a bad shape mentally, where they're like, fuck. And a lot of them have not dated in a long time. I went out on a date with quite a cute girl. I would love to put up a picture for you guys. I'm not going to, but you're going to have to trust me. Very good, very, very cute. I would say 7, maybe 7.5 even. And she told me she hasn't had a boyfriend for 7 years and she's 32. That's how bad it is here for some of these women who are absolutely good looking. absolutely good looking, thin and everything, and she's thin with bigger boobs than I expected, I have to say. So absolutely no reason for her to be single. Doesn't speak any English, which is great. But that's a problem, right? Because foreigners, Thai men, they're not as aggressive, I think. And foreigners, obviously most of them are lazy fucks who come here. They don't want to learn Thai. They end up with English speaking women. They're simps, and they get taken advantage of, which I don't have a problem with, by all these women taking money from simps. And they end up with like literally with the shittiest Thai women ever. 90% of foreigners end up that way. So, and a girl like I met yesterday, who is great, cute girl, doesn't speak English, ends up having single for 7 years. And honestly, this can go on and on and on for her. And, she's 32. In another few years, and she's closer to 40 than she's to 30. And honestly, it's the beginning of the end. Absolutely a wife material, cute girl,
So everyone's still single, do not marry. Some might dating with someone, but if asking for the future plan to getting married or have kids, zero, not at all. They want freedom, they want to go travel aloud, and they want to take care of themselves first. And with the few
So before we go further, I think she's talking about more like girls who do make some money here, have careers, speak English and stuff like that. I don't think they're dateable in general. And a lot of ways these women say, I want to go traveling. Don't think Paris, okay? Go traveling. Sometimes they'll just go to a neighboring country of Laos or Cambodia, which are great countries, by the way. I love them both. But it's no, or just go travel within Thailand, which is actually great. I'm going to travel to a couple more countries this year, probably Singapore and Philippines. But after that, I think I'm only going to travel within Thailand. There's so many things to discover. Thailand is an absolutely amazing country, from amazing beaches to amazing mountains and rivers and so many different things. Now that my Thai is getting better and I can be in a province and where nobody speaks English and, read signs and talk to people, I can do that. I'm going to enjoy. So I think, as far as women who are, concentrating on their careers and trying to travel and want their freedom, that is, as you can probably tell, is an American fucking bullshit culture sipping through. And usually the women who are most receptive are women who speak English. So majority of Thai women are not as bad, who don't speak English are not as bad as that. So I don't think she's speaking really for the majority of Thai women just yet.
a chance to meet a new people as well. Right?
Before she goes on, like, a lot of Thai women just don't put any fucking effort whatsoever. Like I said, the way they dress, like, whenever you're out and about, it is a chance to meet a man, right? It is a chance to meet a man. But when you're dressed in mom jeans and fucking Crocs, and then you have earbuds in and you're on a phone like this, what man wants to approach you, right? Just none. So a lot of these, women just don't give themselves a chance, and it's a problem.
People kind of shy. Whenever we like someone, we will not approach them and like, hey, I like you, can I ask for your contact? Not at all. When we like someone even that much, we will just look at that person and smile a little bit.
Even that doesn't happen. She's right. Of course, listen, here's the thing. You can't have it both ways. If you want a traditional woman, she is not going to be flirting the shit out of you, right? It is sometimes hard to catch their eyes, but it's possible, right? But they don't even give a chance to men to do that. So and they certainly not going to approach you for sure. It is, but it is a flaw. I mean, again, these women they are almost working against themselves rather than just being shy. But yes, traditional women are shy. You have to approach them very carefully. Usually approaching them out and about is not really a thing. She has to be some sort of a regular person in your life, or be introduced to you by a friend or family member. That's really the best way to date here. But there are plenty of people here who would introduce a girl who is, very shy, very traditional, doesn't get out much or doesn't flirt much. And she's a good girl, she's a cute girl, but she just doesn't have any suitors because of that. So I've been introduced many times to women like that here. It didn't work out, unfortunately, because I have some things that I, that probably a little bit unique for this culture. But but I can tell you there's a few women in my life here who I can probably ask out and get a yes, absolutely, because they've seen me as a customer, they've seen me in a neighborhood, they've seen me hanging out with somebody who they know. So it is absolutely a great way to meet.
And then like we try to avoid that, even though we try to talk to that person so bad. But
She's right. Women, like I this is exactly what I said. Try women just literally almost try to avoid men that they're interested in. It's fucking insane. But again, you want to date traditional women, this is very traditional ways to go about it.
we would not make a move. Let's say a woman like this man and this man like this woman. No one ever start a conversation. Then how it's gonna start, right? That's why everyone is single. Or if
Well, of course, there are dating apps. Now, I still would not recommend most of the dating apps here. However, there are a couple of local dating apps like Thai Cupid and Thai Friendly. Yes, they have a lot of hookers. I get it. They have lots of lady boys. That's fine. But you're not stupid. You can filter out lady boys and hookers easily, right? It's not like they're hard to, figure out. So, there are still some women who get on there. Of course, they get a lot of attention from fucking simps here and around the world. So they kind of get ruined. But there are some dating apps where there's not that many foreigners, so it's still okay. So that's there are events, festivals, there's tons of celebrations here going on all the time, right? People out and about a lot, food is everywhere, live music is everywhere. So there are plenty of places to meet. So I don't agree with her fully. Somebody in a chat room says the less they speak English, the best it is to date them. I mean, absolutely. And but you have to figure out how to communicate with them, right? Like I said, learning Thai is very difficult. It is absolutely very difficult, and it is something that's probably going to take me a little bit more time than I thought. I think it's going to be absolutely worth it, and I'm working very hard on that. But for now, I also you need to figure out how to use Google Translate with being without it being too sort of how would you say it, like without it being a buzzkill, right? So for example, when I'm talking to a girl and I was like, okay, I don't know how to say it in Thai, so I would whip out my phone. As I'm talking to the phone, I don't go like, how do you feel about cats? No, right? I will talk into the phone, but I would actually have an eye contact and say, hey, how do you feel about cats? Okay, boom, boom, right? And also when she is typing, maybe hold her hand a little bit. Maybe like, don't just sit there and just, maybe flirt a little bit. Maybe look at her the way she is speaking uh, to the Google Translate. But for me, I also, when a girl speaks into Google Translate, sometimes I go like, no need, I understand. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just also a way to learn the language. But absolutely, like, the less English they speak, the better they are. Yeah, absolutely. Hello, chosen one. Good to see you again. We had a good conversation last time. So guys, feel free to participate. I'll try to get um, to your questions or comments when I can. All right, let's keep going.
when you use dating app, it's not much people to take it serious in dating app. In Thai term, we also have the term said the dating app is just a place for you to gain more followers. People be there to ask their social media and then disappear. They don't take anything serious. They just ask each other name. How old are you? What do you do in life? Where do you live? And exchange the social media. That's it. No more conversation and then go next to match the next person.
Yeah, so dating apps here, at least for foreigners, like I said, we would get a lot of matches, right, from women right away. It's kind of like being a girl in America. But yes, there's, like I said, there's plenty of hookers, there's plenty of ladyboys, there's plenty. Listen, if you're into ladyboys, that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, it is annoying for someone who posted as a straight man for a bunch of ladyboys trying to, you know, talk to you. It's like, and I literally in my profile here it says, please no ladyboys, like no disrespect, but come on. But yes, there are tons of girls who are trying to gather followers on their social media, their TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. But listen, if you're not retarded, you can easily filter them out. That's just life, but the way women communicate online is also not the best. I would say 50%, maybe a little less, but just a significant amount of conversation that I start by saying, hey, how are you? How's your day going? Or how was your weekend? Did you do anything fun? Right? You would get hi, or you will get like, hey, where are you from? It's like, wait, did you not fucking see my message? And I will ask, I said, did you understand my message? And the girl would reply, yes. I'm like, bitch, well, why don't you go fucking answer the goddamn message? What's wrong with you, right? Or it's like, why are you asking me where I'm from? Like, it's in my profile. Did you not read my profile before you matched with me? Like, so there's just a lot of stupid shit that's going on. Just people don't know how to communicate in general. It sounds like women having the same problem here, um, but I do meet sometimes women off of dating apps. Again, I only use local ones and very little. And I usually, like I said, if a girl doesn't get back to me within the day, I unmatch her. If a girl does the stupid shit where she says hi and ignores my messages, I unmatch her. If she says I'm busy, I cannot meet in the next couple of days, I unmatch her. So, I go through women a lot, but we have a luxury of going through women, who are not up to par here and moving on. So it's a good thing. So, but like I said, dating apps, it's still, I think I said it in my live stream yesterday because it was about dating apps and why they're dying. Is dating apps are not some different universe that different species use. It's the same fucking people. It's the same single people that you see on the streets and subways and coffee shops. It's the same people who are using dating apps. Okay, they're the same people. My personal experience and the experience of other people who I know is that whether you meet a girl in person at a coffee shop or you match with her on a dating app, the results are generally exactly the same, which is you're going to get either ghosted or stood up, right? Or you're going to have to get rid of her because she's asking for money, she wants to change the date or move the date or be late for the date. All of those are absolutely no, right? So the result is the same. Whether I think I do maybe 60-40. I do 60 in person meeting, 40 on dating apps meeting. And I got to tell you, it's all the same. It is all the same in terms of results, unfortunately. And I've experienced the same in America as well. So blaming dating apps and saying, oh, it's really weird over there. No, it's not. It represents the reality just fine.
That is the pattern. And lastly, fear of marriage and divorce. Because in Thailand, the percentage of getting divorced is around 46%. That's why people are afraid that, oh, if I marry to this person, then I have to divorce and then I will have scar, I will have mark, and the next person.
Okay, so yes, people don't get married here as much, which I don't mind because marriage doesn't mean shit. You can get married as a man here. If you have a lot of money, you're still not going to lose much in divorce if you do things right. There's none of the bullshit that you have to go through when you are, getting married in America. So, yes, there's a fear of being divorced, but honestly, not that much. I mean, I disagree with her here. I just don't think, but again, getting married here doesn't mean shit. A lot of couples who've lived here for a long time, they're not officially married. It's not a thing. Married people don't wear their wedding rings, and like marriage is not a thing here. Again, it's kind of weird, right? It's such a traditional country. So I disagree with her a little bit. And so Dog GK says dating sites are a waste of time in Thailand. I don't think so. I think if you handle it correctly, right? And like I said, I don't think there's a big of difference between reality and dating apps is any different. They're not a waste of time if you don't allow women to waste your time. Essentially, right? He goes on to say, hitting on them in real life is much better. At least you can directly spot the red flags. On dating apps, you only discover when you meet them in real life, and most of the time it's deception. So I disagree here a little bit, right? So first of all, it depends on what dating apps you're using. If you're still using Tinder and Bumble, that's on you, my friend. Don't, okay? Use some of the local dating apps, right? Your profile also needs to be written well. You also need to be swiping right on women who are not deceptive. It's not that hard to figure it out, right? The red flags a lot of times show themselves just fine online and in person equally. Also, if you live in Thailand, I'm assuming you live in Thailand, it would be interesting to know where you live and what dating apps you use. If you don't know Thai, you cannot approach a traditional Thai girl because she doesn't fucking speak English, okay? Even if you speak Thai, Being approached on the street by a stranger, especially a foreigner, is a little weird. And some of these girls like literally panic and freeze when that happens. Okay. So, in real life, cold approaches is just not a thing here. But again, in my experiences and in many other experiences that I have of other friends, it's the same. Okay, so he says Thai friendly. So Thai friendly and Thai Cupid, I would say they are local apps. And that's Thai friendly. I think I do use once in a while, especially my date yesterday. Was she from Thai Friendly? I think she was from Thai Friendly. Yeah. So, or maybe it was Facebook dating. Anyway, one of those. Facebook dating is also considered to be a local app here because Facebook is big, unlike in America. So yeah, so Thai Friendly. Listen, it's a matter of how you approach these women and who you approach, right? If you approach a girl who speaks English, or she has some tattoos or red hair or nose rings, right? Or her pictures are in front of, Ferrari or in Paris. So obviously she travels and somebody paid for that travel. Like if you don't spot those red flags on dating apps, which I think are much easier to spot, then it's your own fault, But I don't, like I said, these are the same people who are on dating apps and same people who are out there. This is why the best way is to meet women who are introduced to you by friends and family, because they're usually not on social media. They're usually not on dating apps. They're usually not at Starbucks, right? And a lot of times they don't feel comfortable flirting with men as is. So that would be my recommendation. Of course, I would be interested in a little bit more what kind of women you swipe right on and what kind of deception you say you're going through.
Will have like a negative thought toward me, so they decide to not marry it and do not have that scar. It is like an old-fashioned kind of mindset, but it still exists for some people. And not only that, if their marriage, right, they have to separate everything split half and half. Basically, they're scared of divorce. So from all the things that I mentioned before, it's come to the statistic from nowadays. Because right now, people do not marry, they do not have kids, right? That means they push Thailand into a tough situation because it affects the birth rates. In 2024, for among 1,000 Thai women, we give birth only 9 people compared to the world, which is among 1,000 women, they give 18 child. So Thailand is give like a half from the world provide. And for the
Interesting statistic. Now, it's not as bad as in Japan, right? Like if you guys ever been in Japan, like it's awful. Just dating does not exist there. Women are just so dry and fucking unattractive there. It's unbelievable. But generally speaking, positive emotions, human emotions are just so pushed down in Japan. So it's not as bad as here as Japan. I personally don't give a fuck about birth rates. You know what I mean? I'd rather have people be in a happy couple without a child than be in a miserable relationship with a bunch of children. I'm not. I mean, I'm a men's rights activist, and I don't. That's my thing, but I don't really think we need more people on this planet. I think we need less, especially with more AI robotics coming. You know what I mean? I was just in Africa. Tons of people don't have jobs. Tons of people are starving. Here in Thailand, like things are better, but we can use less people, honestly, not more. So I just don't buy that Elon Musk bullshit that we need to have more people and that birth rates declining are bad. The only thing they're bad for is the Social Security in America benefits, right? Which I would like to collect one day, but because the Social Security is set up absolutely incorrectly, right? It's not an investment plan. It's more of like you getting supported by the current generation plan, which is stupid. But other than that, I don't think we need no more people on this planet. I think we need less.
birth in 2024 alone, we have new birth for 62,000 kids, and that's lower in the 75 years in Thailand. Can you see how bad it is? Like in the circle of 75, this is the tough and lowest situation ever. You can assume that if you walk into the street and you bump into someone, they're still single. Yeah, just make a move. It is your turn, I think. And if you come
It's very Thai thing to say. It's such a, like, I know it sounded really weird right now what you said, but because like I said, I do speak a little bit of Thai, and I've kind of been in this Thai culture. It's a very cute thing to say here, and very Thai thing to say that she just did.
to Thailand and plan to dating someone, maybe listen to this carefully because they have an article say Bangkok is not a good place for dating. Why is that? First thing first, I want to mention about the landscape in Bangkok because most of the places is crowded, packed of people, high-rise building. It's not much of empty space or like a park or something that a couple can go chilling, have like a chilling time together, or even you walk into the street. Can you imagine that? Walk in the footpath and motorbike pass you, a lot of wild and a lot of pollution, and not only that, your armpit sweat, like you're sweating, soaking a lot while you hold each other hand. That seem like tough situation and
Does seem like a tough situation, but I disagree. I mean, yes, it is a big city, but we have amazing parks here. Like if you live in an apartment complex like mine, we have areas here on the, like, we have a rooftop with an amazing view with a pool, and I can go there right now. We actually two, because we have two buildings here that are mirror each other. There will be nobody there. We have a little garden in front. No one ever's there. We have a little beautiful canal with some seats by the canal here. No one's ever there. We have beautiful, amazing, huge parks. You can go there and you will be by yourself. There's plenty of space here. And when you go to a restaurant, do you need more of a space than having two chairs and a table like in any other restaurant? That's all the space you have. We have that. Okay. So none of these restaurants are really that full. So I don't agree with space. Now, yes, it's hot in here, but I mean, nobody complains more about Thailand weather than Thai people. Like foreigners, we don't usually complain. Yes, it's hot. Yes, it's humid, but fuck, it's still better than, I'm originally from Russia. Like I'd take that over minus 20 with snow, and my fingers freezing. I will take it anytime, any day. So I don't really even understand her argument about not having space, why people wouldn't date. And certainly when you get to your bedroom, there's nobody there, right? Just your bed and you. And in my case, an amazing view of Bangkok. So I don't really understand this argument, honestly. I don't think it has anything to do with why people don't date as much.
possible. But if you want to go dating in the mall, it's not much of free space. You have to go either theater, which is you cannot talk, or you want to go in the restaurant in the mall. Is this expensive as well? Or even you go in the rooftop, it's kind of romantic, but that's pricey. And not only that, due to the work hour that I did mention before, right? So when people have a few hours, they don't want to portray their time or investment into somebody. So instead of thinking about long-term relationship, they decide to have short-term fun. They just go out, meet you, and maybe have a sexy time together.
Well, okay, so let's talk about sexy time. And I think I'm going to speak for most men. No man who just met a girl thinks, oh my God, I want to marry her. If you do, I'm going to take it back. There's some guys who do that. You're a fucking pathetic loser and you need to work on yourself. You cannot date women right now. If that's what, like, oh my God, these guys who offer these women like either exclusive relationships, I want to be your boyfriend, or let's get married like within fucking hours or days or even a couple of weeks. But let's talk about normal non-loser men, right? We all at first just want to see if you girls are even good in bed, because without it we don't want the marriage, right? That's the number one thing. We want looks and we want sex. That's just how we're wired. Okay, that's why we're here, because our fathers and grandfathers acted that way, right? So I tell these women, to these women all the time, listen, honey, just so you know, every relationship, long-term relationship and marriage starts with friends with benefits. Well, first of all, it starts with a one-night stand, right? First, the guy's just going to see if you're good at this, right? Then he goes like, okay, well, then it turns from one-night stand into friends with benefits, right? All right, let's have more sexy time, as she calls it, and see if I can stand your ass, after and before. If you ask for money, if you give me peace, all that stuff, right? And after that, a man goes like, whoa, sexy time is good. She's brings me peace. She's pleasant to be around. She took care of me when I was sick. Whoa, I'm in, right? So every girl has to work her way into a privilege of being taken care of for the rest of her fucking life, you know? So yeah, so that's but of course there are plenty of men who don't want a long-term relationship, you know, but in general, I think every man or most men are very much open to being in a long-term relationship with the right girl. It's just there's this women nowadays are just not wife material. So the best we can offer them, and I think because the best they can offer to us is sex, and that's it. If you ladies would offer more than sex, you know, then trust me, there will be much more men out there willing to take you up on your offer, but you don't offer much.
and separate. That's it. They're looking for something more short term and looking for something like happy short term, not happy ending. So that's why when you go on a dating app, especially in the big city like Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Phuket, people tend to looking for something short term and something casual. Just go out and have like little small conversation and might end up in the private place.
I don't think that's a Thai woman either. In that video, I know she's trying to use the B-roll, and I know that I'm not an expert. This could also be Thai, but that's kind of.
But again, this is not all. Just the trending in Thailand right now. It still have a lot of people who wanna find something serious in the future for sure. But this is
I do want to say that I do notice that a lot of Thai women are, because they're so traditional, they kind of still in a little fairy tale. They do believe in like, love me for who I am, right? Because nowadays, I do ask a woman, I said, hey, you know, are you thinking about dressing up for the date? You know, and she'd be like, what? I'm like, yeah, like I'm dressed up always, but you know, she's like, oh, well, no, I'm just gonna be casual. I'm like, well, this is a first date. Don't you want to make the best impression? You know, and she's like, no, well, don't you want to love me for who I am? And I'm like, no, no, you know, you should always want to improve yourself, and you should always look and act your best. You know, if the way you are is comfortable over appealing, go back to your bed. I'm always trying to improve myself. It's fucking, you know, 100 degrees with 100% humidity, but I wear long pants, I wear button-up shirts, you know, dress shoes. You know, sometimes it's not that comfortable, but I like being presentable, and I want a girl to look presentable as well, since that is the most biggest value usually that you get out of dating, right? The beauty of a girl you're dating. So this attitude that a lot of traditional women have is unfortunate, but it comes with dating traditional women, right? Oh, love me for who I am. And it's like, yeah, no, you're gonna have to improve yourself. And some women actually very responsive to that. They're like, well, what would you like me to do? You know, okay, well, here's a gym membership. You know, and some women are like, well, then you know, I'm gonna wait for my prince. Okay, well, I'll see you when you're 40 and making videos on TikTok about how depressing it is, especially here in Thailand. But it is an attitude that we have here, and it's not uncommon in other countries where, you know, you have traditional women. FYI. Let me take another quick comment. Actually, let me take this one first. One more land. He says, I use dating apps for one night stands. It's great. Yeah, I mean, sure. You know, I myself don't see a value in one night stands unless you're like traveling and you just happen to meet a girl and it's like, well, I'd rather have a hot night with her, even though that's all we get, than not, you know. But if it's like I meet a girl who is in the same city or neighborhood and we have good sex, why in the world would I not want to have good sex with her again? I don't get that. But okay, sure. I honestly don't believe that way different cultures can work. Different cultural relationships. Well, I see, the thing is, I don't think that I'm that different of a culture, because I'm pretty you know, traditional type of a guy, I think. And so the reason I love this culture and I don't want to live in America anymore is because this culture is much more appealing to me, and in my heart, I'm much more Thai, I think, than I'm American or Russian, right? So I don't feel like I'm out of my culture here. I actually think that I actually came here because I think I have more cultural views that are similar to Thai women here than definitely to American women, for sure, right? Okay, so I guess he got a reply. Well, I guess we'll discuss your reply. Dating apps for that purpose are good alternatives, but it's like talking to a freelancer. Yeah, freelance is a hooker, by the way. You don't really know if it's a person gingers or not. Risky. It is a bit risky too. Yeah, it is a bit risky to just get with women on dating apps. Like if you especially inviting like some idiots invite these women straight to their apartments where all kinds of shit can happen to you guys. Don't be fucking stupid. Meet a girl for a cup of coffee at least, feel her out, look at some red flags. I mean, fucking, I mean, you just don't you want to have some chemistry with a girl? It's just having a warm body walk into your apartment. How low of a standard do you have? It's unfortunate, but all right, let's go on.
The obvious situation that you guys might have to experience. But however, in this trend, Thailand is not alone. It has so many countries that in the top situation like us, like Japan, South Korea, or France, China, many countries in Europe.
Well, nobody is coming to China to date. First of all, France is a very odd place. I don't know any Western man that's trying to get away from American women and to the arms of French women. If anything, I think it might even be worse. But yes, I mean, like I said, I have traveled to almost every single country here in Southeast Asia, and I see a lot of similarities. Not everything is the same. For example, Cambodia is still pretty good because Cambodia doesn't have as many foreigners, right? A lot of the way Thai women behave nowadays that's not acceptable is because a bunch of foreigners showed up here, mainly losers, mainly simps, and made these good Thai women into hoes and made them into boss chicks, you know, and that's why we have this problem. And again, in provinces, it's not as much of a problem because we don't have foreigners in provinces much. And in Cambodia and even Laos, that problem doesn't exist as much of. But listen, it's common. I mean, it would be naive to say that like this heaven just exists and it will always continue to exist. This shitty American culture will come here and infect everybody sooner or later. I just hope or wherever whoever is looking for a wife still, that they come here, get married, and then learn Thai, because if a girl doesn't speak English, it is much easier to guard her from that fucking horrible feminist woke American virus. Much easier.
But Thailand just runs faster. Now we are at the number 3 and we go further than Japan, which is Japan. It used to be tough before. Now Thailand is more tough than Japan.
I disagree. I mean, I was in Japan like last year, I think. Awful, awful. I mean, first of all, Japanese women, my goodness, I honestly, I don't, even their hookers, like you walk around and the hooker would offer the services, even their hookers are undoable, if honestly. Like I was like, oh, someone's paying you, like just and I'm not even talking about the looks, right? Looks are subjective. I'm talking about the fucking effort into being attractive, into being flirty, into having your eyes sparkle and smile. Like, ugh, I gotta tell you, like in Japan, I remember because I was there for 2 weeks. God, that was like the longest 2 weeks of my life. God, that I really dislike Japan so much because of their people. Like, it's just no heart at all. Everyone's like a robot, honestly, and that's how dating is. I'm not surprised that Japanese dudes don't want to fuck Japanese girls. I'm not surprised. They're just no, things are not like. I disagree with her here. I think Japan is like that. Those are two different places. You can absolutely still date here in Thailand. You can still have sexy time here in Thailand, but in Japan it is awful. No.
Japan. So here's the tips for foreigners who want to come to Thailand and find somebody here.
All right.
First thing first, don't have the mindset that Thailand is easy for dating anymore. It could be something like that in the past 10, 20 years, but that trend is outdated already. So
I agree with her. And I think this is what a lot of men need to hear. And it goes for quite a few other countries. I just got humbled in Kenya as well. It is not that easy anymore. Now, of course, it is still possible. So I think the reason I believe men should move out of America to other countries, including Thailand, is because in America, it is impossible to find a wife. If you find a wife material girl, she will be swallowed up by the culture sooner or later. She will no longer be a good wife. And of course, a divorce is, getting married is the fucking dumbest thing you can do as a man in America, especially if you're a good provider. So, but moving to Thailand or another country like this, it's still twofold. One, it is possible to find a wife here if you want to. And secondly, I don't think you guys understand, just being away from American women, just not hearing their entitled fucking loud voices, just not dealing with them where you open the door for them and then just walk through and never even notice you as a fucking person, never say thank you, right? Just not having to deal and having Western women around, I promise you, that is already a major upgrade in your life as a man. So coming here, you don't even have to date. Just relax and enjoy not having those fucking women around. But I also, that it is much more difficult than I ever thought and you would ever think to date here. But at least it is possible. At least these women still exist. Yes, it's hard to get to them. You have to live here for a while, understand the culture, be able to have friends who are willing to introduce you to good girls, be able to speak Thai at least a little bit. Yes, you're going to have to do some work. And you also, of course, need to improve yourself as a man, which you should be doing on a daily basis, no matter what, right? So it's not easy, but nothing worth having ever comes easy. That's just something that everybody needs to realize. So I agree with her. It's no longer like come to Thailand and there will be a line of amazing women lined up for you. The only women who are going to be lined up for you are women who want money from you and they're hoes. I'm just about to film my other video. So I have a visual aid here. Does it look like a hoe, by the way? Because I bought it on local Amazon. And I don't know if it actually looks like a hoe, but we have plenty of them here. And they're not just in Home Depot. Okay, let's go on.
If you have that kind of mindset to be patient and find someone who really genuine and looking for some serious relationship, then you're gonna be fine. Just be patient, and they still have plenty of single women who wanna take a serious relationship. And when you're dating with someone, do not stereotype that everyone gonna be like the past, that she have to take care of you from head to toe, cleaning, cooking, like do everything for you, because that could make some women who have independent mindset to like decide to give up and step back from you. Communicate.
Oh, these women can fucking fuck off. Absolutely. If a Thai woman, and I see this all the time, these fucking losers, foreigners who come here, they end up dating this women who are take advantage of Sims, right? And they don't even cook or clean or give you massages or whatever. They're useless. Why the fuck do you come here if you're not going to get the traditional woman who cooks and cleans and gives you massages treatment while you're providing way better than most men can provide for her? This is why you pathetic simps ruining it for everybody. But yeah, I mean, I live in a pretty upscale, one of the most upscale high rises here in Bangkok. And I see these fucking losers bring their girls. Even though we have 2 goddamn gyms here, I can see these girls don't work out, right? They don't even bother working out, and these dudes are still banging them, right? Ugh. And then I like sometimes I'll take a walk around like 2 o'clock in the morning. I come back, I like to like maybe just chill because we have a beautiful garden in front of our front entrance, and I'll chill there, and I see these fucking hoes come down from their apartments and pick up a delivery. And I'm thinking, and I know their boyfriends. I've seen them with their boyfriends. I was like, what a fucking loser. You got yourself a Thai girl here, and the bitch doesn't even fucking cook for you while you're providing her with a luxury apartment, never having to work, and the bitch doesn't work out. She doesn't cook. All she does is comes down and picks up a delivery that you paid for. This is why when these losers come here and they don't want to improve, they don't want to gain some self-respect, they don't want to improve themselves, they end up with the same shitty women. And so she says, oh, these independent women who don't expect them to cook and clean. Fucking stay the fuck away from them. If you want this type of abuse, essentially, stay in America, stay in Great Britain. You have plenty of women, majority of those women who are not going to do any of this shit for you, but will take your money, right? Don't come here. Don't come here. If you want a traditional woman, you need to have some self-fucking respect and say, hey, listen, honey, if I'm providing all, by the way, a lot of times with good women, you don't have to say it. They just do it. These women all say, oh, I'm going to cook something for you before I come over. Oh, great. Oh, we're watching TV. Absolutely, I'm going to give you a massage. What else? How else I'm going to watch TV with you, right? Like, if these women are not volunteering this, and you even have to tell them, fuck off. Like she just said, and I agree with her. There's plenty of single women here in Bangkok and in Thailand in general. So yeah, just stay the fuck away from independent women. Let them be independent. Back to the streets, provide for your own shit, you know? So don't fucking simp, guys. This is the biggest mistake that you make all the goddamn time. Let's see. New comment. US and Europe, it's over. Governments gave women way too much power. Well, you know who gave these women too much power? Men, right? We've allowed this type of behavior, right? We threw money and attention and validation and simping at them as species, right? So this is why the red pill movement exists, because we need to wake the men up and say, stop fucking doing this. You're fucking it up for yourself. You're fucking it up for the rest of us. You know, he goes on to say women don't need men in the West. They have the government. So I disagree with that notion. Women absolutely need men. You know, they may not need men to pay their bills, right? Even then, I still don't understand why would you want to have a career and go through all of that shit when you can have a husband who will provide everything for you and you just have to take care of him. I don't understand it. I think that's stupid. But women absolutely need human partners. You know, they absolutely need emotional support, physical, all of that stuff. They absolutely need. Those women who say they don't, they're full of shit. They end up on, antidepressants to deal with the effects of not having a partner. The difference is that women cannot buy what they need from men, where men mainly can buy what they need from women. So this is a very much a losing game for women. And you guys, I've had plenty of videos where I've reacted to videos from those women who are in their 30s and 40s and realize that, oh shit, I do need a man. But the time I realized, my stupid ass realized that I need a man, it's too late. The men I want don't want me anymore. They're on to the next 22-year-old, So yeah, I don't think that women don't need men. They think that. I get it that they genuinely think that, but that to me, it's a mental health issue, not a reality issue.
Is the key just talking and ask her what she like and what you like and chat together. The next thing is you have to understand Thai culture. As I told you, so many videos that I made, I'm not going to mention about that again. If you plan to dating a Thai woman, maybe you have to know a little bit of Thai culture. It doesn't.
Absolutely fucking right. She is on the money. A lot of these losers come here and think that they're going to treat Thai women like they're American women. This culture is very fucking different, okay? Extremely different. The way women communicate with you, the way they're brought up, the way they look at relationships is extremely different. So I see a bunch of guys. One of the guys I know got married within 6 goddamn months. I've been here for 2 years and I'm still learning new things about this culture, and I will continue to learn more things about this culture and how women behave, like but these losers come in, they try to approach and treat women the same way as they did in America. And that's how you end up with westernized hoes who are hoes. And then there's no reason to come here. If you want a traditional woman, you better start learning the language. You better start learning the culture. The gaps are humongous. However, the benefits are as well. So come here, learn the culture, and start adjusting. Again, cold approaches here is just not appropriate a lot of times, right? I do cold approaches, but it's usually when it's not that cold. If I smile at the girl and she smiled back and I might wave and she'll might wave, I was like, and then I might come up and start talking in Thai, okay? And usually you don't want to have these women sort of talking to you for too long. They don't necessarily want to appear that, oh, they're being picked up by a foreigner. So a lot of times the conversation needs to be very respectful. You can't be in their face. You have to keep some distance, be very respectful. So maybe people will think that we're friends or something. You don't want them, they don't want to look like they're being picked up. So, exchange information relatively quickly and then continue talking on an instant messenger. If you're sitting at a coffee shop, like sometimes I'll invite a girl to join and sometimes she would, sometimes she wouldn't. That's the better way. But like cold approaches, you dumb fucks who come here don't realize that cold approaches is just not the way to go. It's not appropriate here. The women who will be responsive to cold approaches are not the type of women that you want. And so yes, learning the culture, absolutely 100%. This is how these losers end up with the worst Thai women, is by not knowing anything about this culture. And if you know anything about Thai culture, you wouldn't be dating girls who got tattoos, who got low cut cleavages, who wear fucking shorts with her asses or skirts with their asses hanging out. If you know Thai culture, you would know how inappropriate it is here and what kind of a woman would go outside wearing something like that, right? But you see these foreigners on TikTok and social media all the time. Oh, look at my chick. She's a hoe, dude. And you don't know that. That's the tragic part. These guys don't even know that. So absolutely 100% agree.
Mean that you have to understand or be an expert. Not, I don't ask you to doing that. Just have an open mind, because for someone, they when they face into a tough situation, or when you have argument in public and you want to fight it immediately already. But in Thai culture, we have our saving face culture, which is that gonna take as a red flag for a lot of Thai women. So if you have an open mind and willing to learn Thai culture, that's gonna be a bonus. And
Yes, it's not a bonus, it's a requirement, actually. And she just talked about the most important part, which is saving face. You guys probably missed that. That is the most important thing here. Saving face is basically not having yourself look bad in the eyes of everybody else and not making other people look bad. So, for example, this is why Thai women, even when they reject you, it is almost a pleasant experience, right? Because they do not want to appear as they are not letting you save your face, right? So that's number one. But secondly, they need to save their face, right? So like I said, standing in the middle of a mall or coffee shop and being picked up by a foreigner who's a little too close and creepy is not saving face. This looks bad on a Thai woman. She doesn't want to be in that situation. You know what I mean? So you have to make it very, very culturally appropriate, if at all. So it is very important, and most foreigners don't fucking understand it because nobody gives a shit about saving face in American culture. That's part of a problem. But saving face is very important here, and many other cultures, beyond Thailand, especially here Southeast Asia. So you absolutely need to understand that. This is why a lot of you fucking losers and simps come here, don't understand this, and you end up with the shittiest fucking Thai women here who are not really even Thai anymore. They're just a Thai version of what an American feminist is. And I just feel so fucking sorry for these guys. And I see them everywhere. Everywhere. I just fucking laugh at them inside.
And of course, you still use dating app here in Thailand. It doesn't mean that people only want the casual relationship or they just wanna looking for something fun. They still have plenty of women who looking for something serious, but you have to set your expectation. Maybe you might be exciting in the first few days that you use the dating app and over 100 Thai women matching you and you're like, what? I'm so
She is not lying. You when you sign up with a dating app here, you will have at least 100 women trying to match with you like within hours. It is that good, guys. It is that good.
popular, go out there with this, with that. Just take your time, ask them a few seconds, or maybe make a video call first before you go to meet that person. It still have a bunch of options. Just take your time. Do not
She's right there as well. Yes, you will have a lot of options, but you have to be careful because a lot of these options are bad options and you fucking idiots don't know about it yet because you don't know Thai culture. You don't know how to behave here. You don't speak Thai. You only interact with women who only speak English. That the quality just goes like this with those women. This one actually seems to be very culturally appropriate. But like I said, she does speak English. I see a tattoo on her, but I thought she is a good balance between a traditional Thai woman who will obviously never make a video like this just because she's not what she doesn't want to be in social media, and like westernized Thai hoes here. I think she's a really kind of good representative. I'm not saying she's representing hoes, but you know what I mean.
be rushed and find the right one for you, then you will not wasting your time as well, and that will not like discourage yourself. Next one is learn basic Thai language. This is going to be a bonus for you if you want to learn some Thai. This is the perfect time to talk to your partner. As I told you, right, Thailand is not widely spoken in English, so if you know some Thai, that's going to give you an extra bonus. And if you
So it's not an extra bonus. To me, it's a must. As a matter of fact, I was an immigrant in America, right? I was born in Russia. When I came to America, I was one of those people who said, listen, if you want to live in America, learn the fucking English. If you don't want to learn English, get the fuck out. I'm the same way here. If you come to Thailand and you don't want to learn Thai, get the fuck out. You know, there are very few exceptions. Maybe if you're a diplomat or you're here for an assignment on your company, okay, that's fine. But if you want to live here and date a Thai girl, absolutely. Even if she speaks English, which again, I do not recommend dating Thai or any type of women who speak English in these countries. Okay. But if you're going to end up dating a girl who speaks English, her family doesn't. And you need to be close to her family. It's a big deal here. Family is the big deal here. So go and speak and learn their language. Absolutely. It's not a bonus, it's a must. And it also tells a woman, hey, this guy is actually wants to be here, rather than like most foreigners here, they come here, they lie to women, they want to stay here forever, they don't, and they go back to their countries at some point, dump these women, and then these women don't want to date foreigners anymore, right? Now it is also on them, because I've talked to a lot of Thai women. I said, listen, are you sure you're dating a guy who is going to live here for a while? Because otherwise you're just a holiday girlfriend, right? Did you ask him about his visa? Is he learning Thai? Does he have any Thai friends? Oh no. Well, you're sorry to tell you, you're going to be dumped at some point by this dude. And yet these women still like fall in love, and it's all fucking, fairy tales and fairy dust. But but absolutely learning a language is a must, simply because if you want a real traditional woman, she ain't gonna fucking speak English.
Want to date with someone out the dating app, so just go meet new people through your hobbies. And for now, in the big city like Bangkok, Phuket, Pattaya, Chiang Mai, they have an event for a single person who looking for someone to dating with. And a few days ago, I saw they have an event for like running for a single person. They have the dress code in the event. If you're single, just wear a black shirt. So it's like going really well. And yes, it's a bunch of single person come out and run looking.
Okay, so listen, first of all, I think looking for a partner based on your common interest is fucking stupid. I think that's not the way to match. Those are not the most important requirements. It's like having to like the same color. It makes nothing fucking, it's stupid. But as far as meeting people, yes, there's tons of events here, and they all have some different themes. I personally think it's a bit of a waste of time. I do go to them once in a while, I do have to say, but it's also because I want to meet like other foreigners to be friends with. Because, like I said, most guys who come here, they're fucking losers. And I made very little friends here because I don't want to be friends with losers. Because if they're losers when it comes to dating, they're usually losers as just people, right? So I do like to make some extra, friends who are foreigners from other countries. So those events are kind of a double whammy for me. But the best way to meet is through friends and family. You do make friends by going to this event, so I'm not discouraging you guys. But this is not, I would say, like the only or specifically the best way to do it. But she's right. I agree with her on this one.
For a single person and dating with, that's kind of perfect idea, right? Or maybe join the language exchange, cooking class. From all of this event, you can find on Facebook group, they have a lot of people who
I don't like language exchanges because essentially that's Thai women who already speak English or want to speak English, and I don't want them to. So I stay the fuck away from those.
promote about that. And not only that, they have speeding date event as well. Maybe looking for both platform in TikTok and Facebook, that's gonna help a lot. And lastly, if Bangkok is tough, they still have a lot of city outside of Bangkok that you can go explore and find a single woman, a genuine one. Do not stick with one city. If you do not find the right person, do not give up. Maybe go explore, travel in another province or province that not like a tourist city spot.
Spot on. As a matter of fact, I do that on purpose. Now, I go to provinces where I have some friends, so it's not just girl hunting. I do enjoy life in the province. It's great, simple life. There's no foreigners, none of the bullshit. All the people are real Thai people and all that stuff. Real authentic Thai food. Absolutely love going. There's a Chechen Sao province here. There's Pathum Thani, Rayong provinces that I absolutely love. And yes, the quality of women are better there, but you got to speak Thai. Those women are not going to speak English. So that's why I'm learning Thai. She's absolutely right. Bangkok is a big city, and you can make easily an argument that a lot of women from provinces come here. So we kind of, And I do have to say that a lot of when a woman realizes she's a good looking woman in a province, she ends up coming to Bangkok to work, right? Not necessarily in sex industry, but be one of those cute girls who are hostesses at the restaurants and many other things that you can do, right? Receptionists and stuff like that. So it is a bit of a tougher picking in terms of good looking women. And like I said, provinces are more family oriented. A lot of girls are already taken because they are being taught, hey, find a guy in your early 20s and stick with them, but yes, absolutely. Today I was supposed to go to a province right now with a buddy of mine who speaks great Thai, way better than me, like a million times, but I got flaked on. So I get flaked on not just by women sometimes, but even by my own kind of friends, and that kind of sucked today. I did not like that. So she's right, absolutely.
That's gonna be amazing experience for sure. So
I do want to say that there are Pattaya and there is Phuket. Those are not the cities to ever go to. Okay, lowest quality of already low quality of foreigners for sure. I mean, Phuket full of Russians, which means Russian women. I mean, I already made a video about that. Fucking never date Russian women ever. Don't even talk to them. I never do. So it is. And Pattaya is just a sex tourism spot. So if you're looking for a wife, those are two places to avoid. But everything else, absolutely. Provinces, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, all of those smaller cities, Ayutthaya, the former capital of Thailand. Absolutely go there.
So I would like to tell you that dating in Thailand is may not like 20 years ago anymore, or even 10 years ago. The dating style is changing and a lot of things change. Just learn to be respect, be patient, and do not be rushed. I would say Thailand is still have so many of plenty single people. Just be patient, and maybe if you're in the country already, try to go out and meet people in real life, real activities. That's gonna help to like at least you see that person first. So what do you think about today's video though? Do you want to add anything more, or
I did add a lot to this video, and yeah, she's right. There's still plenty of people here, especially women who are good and cute and feminine and submissive and traditional. So this is kind of a good sort of a warning video that I'd say she had, right? So, oh, that's why I did. That's all right. Let me go back. So that is that. So I think this video is great. This is why I wanted to react to that. So again, it's still a heaven for men who are not simps, not losers, to come here, and again with a lot of effort, but still this is absolutely possible to find an amazing wife here if that's what you're looking for. You can have many other different arrangements. Like right now I'm dating several women casually, and to me that's actually fine for now. So you can do that, and you can just fucking enjoy the country without fucking Western women here, which again is just a pleasure on its own. Let me catch up on a couple of comments before I sign out. Okay, well, let me change it this way, and then I'm gonna have to remove my own logo, which I guess is okay. All right, so the comment is that's the scam. So we're talking about the marriage. That's why I said they got brainwashed thinking they have the government on their side, showering them with money. Yeah, I mean, listen, marriage, if you are a real man and you're a provider, getting married, essentially signing a contract where the other party immediately is being offered money by the government to break that contract and fuck you over, right? So I don't know anybody in the right mind, why would anybody do that? But, Jeff Bezos just did that, right? And I already made a video about that, how he kind of represents the loser and simp mentality of American men. Now, here's a newcomer and says, I don't want any of those flatbacks. I was not impressed at all. I don't know what you mean. If you are talking about the lack of booty here, yes. As someone who dated black women in America for 15 years, it's a bit of a tough proposition. But I think a lot of times what you don't know is that the way these girls dress and there's mom jeans, you can't tell. You can't tell. But I'm not gonna lie. That is, for someone like me, it was a problem. But listen, I was just in Africa, right? Tons of booty for me, right? And yet I left way before I was even going to, right? I went there for about a month, but I cut it short after 2 weeks. And I've had a pretty decent. I had a date every day. I had a girl come up to me and ask for my number every day. It was very different environment, but there was plenty of booty there, and yet I'm back to Thailand. So but not a very good attitude, though, I have to say, to have, and call it flatbacks. I don't know, that's kind of nasty. But anyway, I hope you can be have a little bit of a better view on life than this ratchet way of looking at things. But so yeah, I think this is a very important video for me to make. I'm going to repost it in several days, because this is everything that men need to know about what it's like to actually move here. You guys think it's easy. It is not that easy. It is still better than what you have over there in America and Europe, and you have to put some work in, but this will pay off. And if you want to how to do that, go to themillionmanproject.com. It's like right here, but also it's in the description of this video on YouTube. Themillionmanproject.com. I spent 3 months putting together a very detailed plan on how you can do it, how you can pick the right country, how you can kind of wind down your life in America or wherever you're from, and how you actually move here and start dating. It is you can look at my table of contents on that website. You'll see it is a very, very long list, because a lot of guys don't do things right. They don't pick the right country. They don't improve themselves. They don't understand the culture. They get in a bunch of stupid trouble. They get shut out of their bank accounts sometimes and their investments in America. Check out at least the Million Man Project .com, just so you kind of understand what the process is like. But anyway, thank you to this lovely lady for making this video. I think this was really great to react to this. I know I disagreed with some of the things, but I really appreciated her polite way of putting things, and she really did hit every single point that men need to understand before coming here. And really, this applies to majority of other countries, especially when they don't speak English as their main language. So, all right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I think this has been great. I will see you tomorrow as I live stream pretty much every day from right here, Bangkok, Thailand. Now it's time to go out, have some delicious Thai food for lunch and a smoothie. And then I'm going to plan myself in a nice coffee shop and work on my best video. So thanks for the company, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.